South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world. Our gaming amenities include over 60 table games and over 2,600 of the most popular slot and video poker machines. We have penny slots, including the popular Buffalo games, and real machines like Wheel of Fortune, Triple Sevens, and Megabucks. If you prefer video poker, try Deuces Wild, Double Double Bonus, or a variety of multi-denomination games. Or try your hand at one of the most popular casino table games in the world, Blackjack. Don't let the game intimidate you. Blackjack, also known as 21, is both easy and fun. And our dealers are always happy to assist. And the best part? Blackjack always pays 3 to 2. Next, check out the roulette tables. Roulette is one of the easiest casino games to learn, and so much fun to play. It's a favorite of both beginners and seasoned players. In addition to blackjack and roulette, our casino pit features over 60 popular table games like Baccarat, Pai Gow Poker, 3-Card Poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Mississippi Stud. So get out of your room and come join in the fun.
Welcome back. Another week of Gaughan Racing. Jeff Motley, along with the cackling Brendan Gaughan.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, they could dock our pay. I can't even dock our pay. Can they?
They can't fire us. They can't dock our pay. This is awesome. We got the best gig in radio.
We can be king.
We
can be king. It is Jeff Motley and Brendan Gaughan. It's Gaughan Racing. We're at the South Point Hotel Casino. I am taking a big deep breath. The South Point 400 is behind us. But what an amazing week! First off, with the race event,
great job,
everything
Jeff,
that we did
to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You guys, look, the track looks gorgeous, right? I mean, the grass. This is Vegas. Grass ain't the easiest thing to grow. Grass looks gorgeous. Track looks gorgeous. The fans, the neon garage is still the coolest garage in the sport. Just a phenomenal weekend, and of course, us from the South Point. Thank you guys.
Well, that's a mutual admiration society, let me tell you. We couldn't do it without the South Point. So.
I will tell you this, though. It's always been funny. The first year we did the South Point 400, my dad and I are sitting in the suite. We look down, we go, my God, did South Point throw up all over this place? You guys put more South Points. It almost looked like Daniel Hemrick's car at Kansas where there was like way too many. Dude, you guys have the flags for South Point. We got the biggest.
You know whose race it was? You know darn well whose race it is. It's a South Points race.
No, listen, I promise you that NBC couldn't blur out the number of South Points if we didn't pay the money. I mean, it was fantastic. Great job out here. Raised something like $60,000 or something for
just on your blackjack tournament alone. Raised about $60,000. Speedway Children's Charities, I think, ended up at about $175,000 for the weekend. You know, we do a charity auction. By the way, Bubba Wallace came to our charity auction, brought a hat, signed it at the charity auction, went for $500.
Very nice.
I mean, that was very cool.
Did the pink paint the pink?
We did that. We painted the start-finish line pink with our breast cancer survivors on Thursday, which if you watched on television, by the way, we may have the coolest start-finish line in motorsports now. We put these new gigantic red dice on the start-finish line. I don't know if you noticed those. I did notice. They were quite phenomenal. So
I think you had the coolest starters, too. What people don't understand is...
our honorary starters. Yeah.
Braun
Strowman
is 6 foot...
6'8". He's 6'8" and weighs 385 pounds.
Rey
Mysterio...
He almost qualifies for the midget wrestling league.
He's 5'6".
5'6". Okay.
He lives here in Vegas.
Yes, I know. And I'm a huge Rey Mysterio fan with the WWE coming soon. I'm not going to say that we may have bought some tickets to WrestleMania.
WrestleMania already, all right.
But It was so funny because Ray had to be standing on a box just to see over.
They love to play off of each other. I think Ray actually wants to be smaller, and Braun wants to be even bigger when those two are together.
They make it. Yeah,
I think they love.
They put
that
Braun
dynamic.
on the box and made Ray not be on the box.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they were great, and everything. We had Barry Odom was our grand marshal.
Yep,
couldn't have been better. Won a game the night before.
Have a chance to be ranked again. They got 17 Boise State this week. Not that this is NASCAR radio, but we're homers.
Right. And then we even had Katie Grimes, silver medalist. She drove the pace car. She was very nervous.
She?
She was nervous when she did her pace car training. I think hopefully when she got out there, she was good. So, no, it was a great weekend all around for the Speedway, hopefully for the South Point as well. And,
it was busy.
And it was a great weekend for Joey Logano.
Yes. Joey Logano, listen. Joey may have the least to this place right now. He is fantastic.
Should
when it comes
Joey
here.
have gone and put it all on red or black or something? I mean, if you think about Joey's 7-day period there, from the week before, Joey is out of the playoffs.
Remember the old Jimmy Johnson horseshoe? Right now,
Joey found it.
Joey has it, and it's lodged. I mean, you want to talk about an amazing week and a half, and betting implications, right? I mean, the week before, we're talking Alex Bowman, Joey Logano. One was 40-1, one was 14-1. We're both saying these are two guys that are huge future bet implications. They're going to go down. After the race, you think Alex Bowman. Then all of a sudden it's Joey. The Penske group gets in. They were 12 even last week. You and I said Joey Logano is 12-1 right now.
Get him now, because never going to get close to that again.
He comes out. He puts it on him at Vegas and puts it on him. Christopher Bell put it on him, but
Christopher Bell certainly had the fastest car. He also had fresher tires at the end. It's 2 races in a row where Bell's had the fastest car at the end of the race, and he hasn't been able to catch up quite to the leader. But it was great strategy. It's so few noteworthy things here. Joey Logano tied Jimmy Johnson for most wins ever at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. But the guy who might have been most responsible for Joey winning that race, Paul Wolfe, is now the winningest active crew chief in NASCAR at 41 wins.
Oh, is he?
Yes,
I didn't know that.
He is now. I believe that he is now 1 win ahead of Rodney Childers. I think Rodney has 40 wins as a crew chief, and Paul has 41 wins as a crew chief. And you got to give Paul a ton of credit.
Well, and I thought you were going to go the Ryan Blaney route because of what Blaney did to help Joey on the fuel mileage deal and keep speed. Which, folks, as a former driver, right, as a guy. Ryan Blaney, he's looking at the outside of point. He doesn't want Joey Logano to win that race. Ryan Blaney does not want Joey Logano to win.
Selfishly, he wouldn't, correct.
Because it hurt him in the points. When we get to the points, it's going to show why. But Ryan pushed Joey to help him where Joey could lift to half throttle, and Ryan would push him down the straightaway to keep full speed and still have half throttle. I mean, huge teamwork deal. Amazing job by Penske Group.
It was, but I want to say one other thing about Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney, he was the perfect teammate, but he was also the perfect competitor.
Yep.
Because he did everything to help Ryan.
He did not hold up Seabell.
As soon as Christopher Bell got nearby, he got out of the way and said, let them go decide it.
I was frustrated on Sirius this week. I listened to somebody say, oh, well, Christopher Bell or Ryan Blaney blocked. And I said, if anybody says Ryan Blaney blocked, I will smack you upside the head. Right. Ryan Blaney was a great teammate.
And when it was time for them to race, he got out of the way and let them decide.
He did not hold Seabell up 1/10 of a second. He got out of the way.
Had nothing to do with Joey getting around Suarez either. He had no role whatsoever in any of the battles on the racetrack.
Which was very classy and very Penske classy of the whole organization.
Well, look, you know what? He's a champion.
Yep.
And he drove like a champion, and he did everything you would want. So Joey came in huge numbers. I mean, he was 18-1 to win the race, a plus 260 for a top 3. By the way, Group C, I want to say this, for the 4th consecutive show,
the Gaughan Racing,
the jinx was not in effect because all 3 of us, the pit crew, you, me, we all took Joey to win in Group C. It was plus 285. That's 4
We're
weeks
the opposite of the SI jinx. We are like, we
4
are
weeks in a row. And he brought Ford home at a plus 320 for the win there. So huge numbers there for Joey Logano. And Brendan, we mentioned he was 12-1 to win the championship last week. What are his odds now?
Hold on. I know my eyesight's gone bad. I believe that's a plus 300.
You gotta look really small to see the little single digit in front of the one.
No, went from 12 to 1. Hey, folks, you missed that future bet. Too late.
Yeah, because look, now Joey, he's got 2 weeks to get ready for Phoenix.
Listen, him and Paul Wolfe may try to go race at Homestead. I think right now they're having a cigar. They're going to be down near Cuba. They're going to have a Cuban in Homestead. And
because keep in mind, one thing that does not matter these last two races are playoff points. There are no playoff points.
There's nothing left for Joey to race for.
There's nothing to race for other than Phoenix
Just
to try to win it all. All right, let's take a look at the rest of our top 10. Christopher Bell, we talked about how he was running Joey down. He was probably the best car all day. He came in at plus 250. Daniel Suarez did the same strategy as Joey Logano, stretching his fuel, stayed out, did all he could. He was 18-1 for a top 3. Looking at the rest of the top 10, one huge surprise, no other big real surprises except ninth place. John Hunter Nemechek comes in with a ninth place finish.
Good run for John.
A great run for John Hunter.
The team needed it too.
They certainly did. But, the other thing we had, Brendan, is we had some contenders. We had 2 playoff guys taken out in one accident early in the race.
Huge playoff conditions here. I mean, the Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick,
and then Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr. Reddick was upside down coming across the start-finish line. I remember Corey LaJoie getting upside down once at Vegas, but I've not seen stock cars get upside down very often.
It doesn't happen. And he just, and it was just like it was such a perfect, easy roof, tires. And he drove it in.
Fortunately,
and then he drove it in.
It was not a barrel roll kind of situation.
He just drove it in, but it huge implications for the playoffs. Huge. When we talk points.
Well, and when we look at the points, the separation now for the cutoff line, it's Logano, Bell, Larson, and Byron are all above the cutoff line, but Byron is 27 points ahead of Denny Hamlin. He's 30 ahead of Tyler Reddick, and he's 47 ahead of Blaney. And Blaney and Chase Elliott are going to have to win one of the last 2 races.
Do I say they have to win?
Because they're not going to climb over Reddick, Hamlin, and the 4th place car is what I'm saying.
So I don't disagree with some of that, but you have another situation where Byron goes out early, right? William has a problem, and Chase Elliott gets 18 stage points, a second and a first, or a 7th and a,
and while we said the stage points they don't matter for Joey.
Yes.
They are mattering for everybody else.
And so if you get a couple stage points, get a good finish with a guy with a bad run, but you have to overtake so many people. Chase being 60 is or close to 60, 50, whatever. Chase is absolutely in a must-win situation. I think the others can still point their way in, but it's still a long, long shot to point their way in.
Well, I think if you're Tyler Reddick, you have to be encouraged. He won the first stage in Vegas. Mm-hmm. So, we talked about how it seemed like he had lost some speed. His speed is back, and we know Homestead is a track that he runs well at. So, Reddick is the guy I would say, okay, it's important this week because Martinsville has not necessarily been his kind of track. If you're Chase Elliott or Denny Hamlin right now, you're saying, I got to win Martinsville.
And that's whose track it is. It's that belongs to Chase. That belongs to Denny. Those are guys that is their, even Ryan Blaney. Those are tracks that they're good at. So Tyler is looking at Homestead as his place.
This is the most important race that Tyler Reddick is going to run here. Well, speaking of which, this weekend we're heading down to Homestead, Miami. The remainder of our schedule, we will finish up the round of 8 at Martinsville Speedway, the paperclip in southwestern Virginia, and then the final race at Phoenix International Raceway. And, Homestead for years and years and years, it was the last race on the schedule. So little different spot in the calendar. I don't know if it really matters where it is.
I love Homestead. And the next year they're moving it to, I think, like the 3rd or 4th race of the year.
Yeah,
second race or something.
Actually, they are going to, I believe it's going to be race 2.
Yeah. So,
no, it'll be race
3. 2. I thought it was 2. I thought it went Daytona Homestead.
Maybe it is.
But,
I don't know.
But either way, it's a great track. I love racing down in Homestead. It's a beautiful racetrack. How well it races out. And even though it's a mile and a half, Jeff, it is the most unique mile and a half we have in the sport. It's the 2 straight corners, no increasing or decreasing radius turn, high banking, parabolic, up at the wall, which immediately makes me go, oh, hey, we're going to talk a lot about Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick and Christopher Bell.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, those are guys that are going to certainly fall in right there, and I think that's one of the reasons why Homestead was such a great track to end the season.
It was
because it it just, I don't know. I always think Homestead is a terrific racetrack. Enjoy watching.
Love it all but 1 year.
Yeah, except for 1 year. You're exactly right. Okay, we come back on Gaughan Racing. We'll tell you how the drivers in this year's field have done at Homestead and start getting into our odds. Be right back.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rockin' dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grandview Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show. Every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grandview Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grandview Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Welcome back into Gaughan Racing. Jeff Motley, Brendan Gaughan. He's trying to do his Uncle Sam impersonation.
No, I'm looking at the right camera. This is 2 in a 2 box, not 2 in a 2 shot.
There's 3 cameras up there, and none of these 3 cameras have numbers on them, and we're supposed to. So I guess we just assume. So we just assume that camera number 2 is the one in the middle, but I don't know which one is 1 and which one is 3. So at least she says 2 on a 2 box, which is better than 2 on a 1 box, because then I don't know if there's 1 over here or there's 1 over here, because there are no numbers.
That's a good point.
I mean, can you imagine we run a race and we don't put numbers on the side of the car?
Professionally unprofessional, baby. Okay. Come on.
But
it works for
our
us.
Show. That's not every show in here, is it?
They may take them down for us. Who knows?
Okay.
I mean,
maybe so. Maybe they let us guess. They want to see our side profiles when we're looking at the wrong camera.
They could.
I don't know.
We do occasionally.
Okay, I digress. We digress. But hey,
Always.
Guess what? We're back to talking about Homestead, and well, there's no real big surprise who the top winners are there. Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch, which seems like almost every week we say it's Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch. And if we're doing a show like this 6-7 years from now, we're going to be saying Kyle Larson at the top of all those lists. And Tyler Reddick probably at the top of all those lists. But Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch each have 19 starts. Denny's won 3 times. Kyle has won 2. Both their numbers are crazy. They both have 5 top 5s. Denny's got 12 top 10s to Kyle's 11. The difference is Denny seems to be a little bit stronger team right now than what Kyle's in. So Denny's experience may pay off a little bit more. But there's a number of guys in this field who've got wins here. Bell's got a win. Byron's got a win. Larson's got one. Logano, Truex. And surprisingly, Reddick doesn't have a win, but he's got 3 top 5s and 4 starts.
Yeah, and see, here's the thing. You got to look at this right here. And remember, this is a track that lends itself, Jeff, to driver's style. This is a stylistic track. Takes great equipment, because it's one of those 1.5 miles that you got to have the equipment down. But it's a stylistic track where if you like this place, you run well here. This is a place that fits some drivers and doesn't fit others. So when you see numbers like 9 races, 5 top 5s for Kyle Larson, yep, absolutely. When you see a Denny Hamlin, last 10 races, 7 top 10s. Denny, absolutely. You named Tyler Reddick. 4 races total, 3 top 5s. These are tracks that absolutely fit a driving style. So when we get to the odds, we are absolutely going to be looking at those sorts of numbers of guys that perform well here. And this is a week. Some people have given up on Kyle. This could be a week where Kyle Busch, if there's ever a week that it's a track that fits one of his last shots at it, this is the one.
Well, I would agree with you there. Let's take a look at those odds. Kyle Larson is your favorite at plus 300, then Tyler Reddick at plus 500, and Christopher Bell at plus 600. So those are the 3 names we mentioned. Those are the 3 at the top, the 3 that probably should be at the top. Then we got William Byron and Ryan Blaney at plus 800. Denny Hamlin is 10-1. Martin Truex Jr. and Chase Elliott are 16-1. Ross Chastain and Ty Gibbs. By the way, Ty Gibbs, a guy who I would have bet you anything would have won a race this year. He and Chastain both coming in at 25-1. And if you are watching on TV,
not on TV. Now I am.
If you're old enough to remember the Mikey Life cereal commercials, Brendan's seat just goes down, and he literally looked like Mikey for a minute over there with his chin barely. Or what is it?
I wasn't on the South Point stream. I can look and see the South Point stream. I wasn't on it, so I could have got away with it because it was just one on a one box.
We only saw the top of your head. One on a one box. Which one is the one box now? Did we?
Well, the one box, okay. one person, one box. But
anyway, Brendan is back now. His microphone is no longer above his head.
So here's what I want to talk about. Ty Gibbs, we've talked about all season. You and I have said after the start Ty had and where we've seen him this season, I think Ty Gibbs still has a shot to win. He ran great last weekend, Jeff. Remember, Ty Gibbs led 23 laps early on, 6th in the first stage, got wrapped up. I can't remember. I was at the lacrosse tournament, so I didn't get to see what happened to Ty. But I saw very little of the race. Yeah, you were working. Yeah. But so Ty Gibbs, this is a track where how strong were the Toyotas last week? Super strong. How strong was Ty even as one of them? So, he's got one racer. He's got one top 10, 2 races, one top 10. I think this could be a race that 25-1 could be a decent number on Ty Gibbs if we think he might get his first win still this season.
Well, I do think, I think when we're into a race like Homestead, Miami, where there's a number of drivers who feel like they've got a shot here. And, look, we know when they get to Phoenix, if they can't win it, they're not going to finish in the middle of the top 4. Like Chastain went out there and was able to run up front, last year. So I think that this is the race where if you're not in the playoffs, if you're going to try to win, because Martinsville is a beast. And Martinsville, and we also know who the guys are that are going to be good at Martinsville. Homestead, I think, does make it a little bit more wide open. So I agree with you. Looking at numbers on guys like a Ross Chastain or a Ty Gibbs might be a really good opportunity.
You got it. They're both guys that were in the playoffs earlier. Or Ross wasn't this year, but he's a playoff contender. And you remember who dominated Kentucky a few weeks ago, or Kansas a few weeks ago? Ross Chastain, 1.5-mile track.
A lot of similarities.
Still a mile and a half with the arrow.
And Vegas are very. It's funny. You've got Kentucky, Vegas, Homestead, Kansas, Vegas, Homestead. They're all three similar, but they're all three different. So you can find elements of all. Like Homestead's got Vegas's banking, and Kansas has got Vegas's tri-oval.
But they both have different. Like I said, Ross Chastain 25-1, Ty Gibbs 25-1. If you're looking for that long shot winner right now, those are two guys that I don't dislike. I do like, looking at the Chase Elliott right there. Chase Elliott needs to go win this thing, right? I mean, if there's going to be a guy that goes for broke and does a strategy and does everything he can, Chase Elliott is your man at 16-1 in a Hendrick car, where the Hendrick cars, William Byron, Kyle Larson, two of your favorites all season long. Those three guys intrigue me right off the bat, including Denny Hamlin, one of the best to do it here at 10-1. So a lot of good double-digit odds that I like.
Yeah, now, speaking of the really long shot odds, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Chris Buescher, Alex Bowman, and Kyle Busch are all 30-1. Bubba Wallace is 50-1. Noah Gragson, Chase Briscoe at 80. AJ Allmendinger making a one-off start. He doesn't run a lot of Cup races. 100-1, and the field bet is 20-1. Boy, I tell you what, I mean, Alex Bowman and Chris Buescher, 30-1.
I like that whole first column. All those guys, 30-1. I don't know what to
expect out of Joey.
But here's the thing.
Are they testing or are they racing?
Here's the deal. They could just go flat out win it just to prove a point.
This is true.
I mean,
And again, like you say, when a driver straps his helmet on, he's only thinking about one thing, right?
Oxygen goes out the window. But I look at Brad Keselowski, how strong the RFK cars were earlier. Chris Buescher, how strong the RFK cars were earlier. Alex Bowman, here's a guy that has run, was in the playoffs except for one problem by the team. And then Kyle Busch, we talked about him. I like all the 30-1 guys. I think all 4 30-1 guys there are pretty stellar guys to have on your lineup.
Well, Bowman had a solid run this past week in Vegas. I think Bowman's a very determined driver after what happened to him. So Bowman is certainly an interesting. Chris Buescher did have a top 10 in Vegas. Buescher's one of those guys that you're like, you know what I mean? Like Buescher, he could set the world on fire.
When he shows up, baby, he shows up.
Right. When he shows, he shows.
Now, he cashes a lot of tickets in our groups and our head-to-heads. So to win, maybe not so much. But those are names that right there, I would not be surprised if any of them won.
He does have a win in the playoffs.
Yes, he does. And looking back last year, Brad Keselowski, 2nd, 5th, and 2 stages, led 16 laps. Super fast. So bad finish. Him, Truex, and Hamlin all wrecked each other and got into a big Hasselhoff there. But Keselowski, big stage wins, big points, and he's way better this year than last year. So there's some numbers I like on that whole row.
All right, let's take a look ahead to our odds for top three. We got a negative number up there again this week, which I'm actually a little surprised.
I'm surprised you don't have two negative numbers.
So Kyle Larson is a minus 115 for a top three. Tyler Reddick and Christopher Bell each at plus 170. Byron is 200. Blaney and Hamlin 300. Elliott 400. Truex 450. Chastain Logano at 500. Kyle Busch is 550. Ty Gibbs and Keselowski at 600. Bubba Wallace 800. Bowman 900. Chris Buescher 10-1.
God, I would love to say I want Martin Truex Jr. 450. That'd be an absolute lock steal. But Truex it seems like just kind of phoning it in right now.
If he's going to have a swan song, it'll be Martinsville.
Pop, maybe, but I look Chase Elliott at plus 400 once again. Chase Elliott is going to win, try to do everything he can to win this race. If he comes up just that inch short, a plus 400 is a great number for top three. And you're giving me Denny Hamlin and Ryan Blaney. Let me remind you that these are Ryan Blaney. These are two guys that last year in this race, Blaney was second, and Denny Hamlin led 31 laps, 6th and 4th in stages, got in the same accident that those guys got into. So those are two great numbers. I mean, 300, 300, 400. I like those three guys right there a ton.
You know, and I feel like I'm probably repeating myself from the last segment, but Alex Bowman at plus 900 for a top three.
I don't dislike that.
That's a huge number. And, you know, Bowman doesn't win a lot of races, but
he's there.
Is there. And Bowman getting a top three or top five, and look, guys like Alex Bowman, I mean, they're racing for nothing but to win the race. And I think a plus 900 Alex Bowman, that's a number that I kind of like that.
I like a lot.
All right, let's look at our longer odds here for the top threes.
Well, let me go back to Bowman for you. This season, mile and a halfs, Kansas 7th, Charlotte 9th, Atlanta 5th, Kansas 6th, and Vegas 5th.
Plus 900 for a top three.
There you go.
Right, exactly. All right, let's take a look at our longer odds on the top threes. AJ Allmendinger is 12-1, Chase Briscoe 15, Daniel Suarez 16, Austin Cindric's 25, Noah Gragson, Josh Berry, Austin Dillon at 28, Carson Hocevar at 30, Eric Jones is 50-1, Zane Smith, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Justin Haley, John Hunter Nemechek at 60-1, Michael McDowell and Corey LaJoie at 70-1, and Todd Gilliland at 80-1.
You know,
Suarez had a top three last week, and he was 18-1. Now, granted, there was some strategy, but guess what? The guy that won the race used fuel mileage strategy as well.
So, I mean, look, I look at this and I go, okay, Suarez is about the only name that I'm going to be that excited about. I might look at you and say, you never know with Briscoe.
You just never know with Briscoe. I mean, Briscoe, there's a little bit of, maybe not quite at the level of Buescher, but there's a little bit of Buescher and Briscoe in that when he brings it, he brings it. 3
races at Homestead, average finish 23.7, 18th, 36th, 17th. Like you said, Briscoe, when he shows up, they show up. I look at that. I mean, Austin Dillon actually has decent stats here, but I would, he's got 4 top 10s in 10 races, average finish 11.4 in the last 10. So, but that team just has not performed at the level that
right.
would make me say, hey, I'll jump on a top 3. Now, you find him a top 10. If he's 28-1 for a top 3,
right,
he might still be an 8-9-1 for a top 10.
Yeah, and one thing I mentioned last week, at Vegas, you always seem to get one guy in the top 3 you didn't expect. That was Suarez. We don't really see that quite as often at Homestead. That guy
not as often
into the top 3. All right, we come back on Gaughan Racing. It'll be time to talk about driver head-to-heads, which we have some good ones, and then we'll get into our group matchups.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside. Or maybe you're in the mood for seafood. Big Sur Oyster Bar has fresh seafood prepared right before your eyes. Savor freshly shucked oysters, crab legs jambalaya, shrimp and lobster. Beers on tap and a selection of fine wines are perfect to pair with your seafood favorite. Whether lunch or dinner, you'll love this fun atmosphere, located just off the casino floor. Ready to shake things up? Step back in time and treat yourself to one of the oldest restaurant chains in the country. Steak and Shake, famous for original mouth-watering steak burgers and hand-dipped milkshakes in a variety of flavors. For some old-fashioned fun, try Steak and Shake.
Welcome back into Gaughan Racing. Jeff Motley alongside Brendan Gaughan, trying to figure out which camera we're looking at. I think we got it figured out over here. Those of you listening on SiriusXM are like, what are those two fools talking about cameras?
They're two fools. So you can just end that after two fools, and they get it.
This is true.
They get it.
This is true.
Faces for radio.
Sorry, Dom. Sorry, Mass.
Thanks, Dom. Thanks, Mass.
Thanks. Sorry, whatever. We're talking driver head-to-heads now. Brendan, William Byron and Ryan Blaney both have a plus 160 by their name, but
it's against a Kyle Larson. So, okay, I get it. But Larson was not super strong last week. Start with that. If you took this bet last year at Homestead, you would have won because Kyle Larson, he got in an accident on lap 214. So Larson, here's the thing. You make an omelet, you're going to crack some eggs, right? Kyle Larson runs right up next to that wall, better than anybody else in the business.
But we still like the three guys who are going to run closest to the wall.
Still love them. But if you're giving me a head-to-head with a William Byron, who I think William Byron might be the guy that I like the most of this field right here, 6 races, 3 top 5s, I like Byron. I am super high on Byron here. Got the win in 2021 here. If I'm going to take a 160 against Kyle Larson, which caveat emptor, right? Do it at your own peril. I like the Byron at 160 and a head-to-head is my favorite one.
Well, it's funny you talk about William Byron. William Byron also has a plus 130 against Tyler Reddick. And the other one that I kind of like out here is, I don't care who it's against, if it's not, especially if it's not Kyle Larson, you get a plus number, and it's only a plus 105 on Christopher Bell against Tyler Reddick. And look, maybe I'm a little bullish on Christopher Bell.
He was fast.
I think Bell's going to win this race.
He was fast.
If something bad doesn't happen. I mean, look, we know Larson had trouble with a pit stop in Vegas. We know that Reddick and Chase Elliott had issues because they kind of caught up in a crash that wasn't really totally of their making. And those things can happen. But if everything goes according to plan,
Bell is going to be fast.
It's going to be really, really strong here.
And I am right there. And the second best guy on the mile and a halfs this year, 10 races, 2 wins, 5 top 5s, 7 top 10s. That's Seabell. The only one above him on points with no wins is William Byron. But you look at, I give these numbers. He was 5th at Kansas, 1st at Charlotte, 7th at Kansas, 2nd at Vegas for Seabell. Dominant car at Vegas, didn't get it.
32 laps to go. He's 26 seconds
in the lead
behind the leader. Now, not only is he 26 seconds behind the leader, but how many cars
does he have to pass?
I mean, it's one thing if he would just had him and the leader on the racetrack. That's one thing to make up 26 seconds in 32 laps.
And he won this race in 2023 last year. So I mean, I do like that Seabell at a 105 over Reddick, who Reddick is in a little bit of desperation. So when you have desperation, sometimes you can crack an egg. So I like both of those. The 105 for Byron, or for him against Tyler, and I like the 160 for Byron against Kyle Larson, even though I don't like betting against Kyle Larson.
Well, I'm with you there. All right, let's move ahead to our group matchups. And speaking of Kyle Larson, he is a prohibitive favorite at plus 190 in Group A. Tyler Reddick is plus 265. William Byron and Ryan Blaney at plus 325. And I'm just going to tell you, first off, I am shocked that Christopher Bell is not in Group A.
Well, but when we get to Group B, you'll see why.
Exactly.
But, I look at this, and we talk about enticement, right? I bet a William Byron a couple weeks ago in Group A because he was like 440 or something like that, remember? And I go, that's enticement. Ryan Blaney at 325, William Byron at 325 is not enough enticement when I can get them for wins or top threes, because the winner, other than the Seabell, is probably going to come out of this group. Not enough enticement for me. I don't like picking anybody here. We've given all the stats on these guys ad nauseum so far in the show. I don't. It's 325 is not enough for me to reach down into the Blaney Byron pick. Now, a head to head, sure, that's a head to head.
Right.
But Larson has a problem. We'll pick Byron for 325 if you think. Well, no. I still got Reddick and
got to beat Reddick
and Blaney. So, I just don't like this one today. And I've been high on Group A's lately. I'm not today.
Well, I'm with you. I think there's probably a couple groups here where I'm like, they throw up the X. I'm just not touching it. And Group A is definitely one of those. I mean, I like that there's big numbers out there, but again, I mean, how do you pick against Larson?
Yeah,
it's just very hard to do. All right, let's move along to Group B, and here's that guy, Christopher Bell.
That's why he's not in Group A.
He may be plus 195, but I really like him here against Denny Hamlin at plus 240 and Martin Truex Jr. and Chase Elliott at plus 340. Because I just don't see those other three guys having maybe Denny.
So here's the deal. Truex, we've talked about, right? It just doesn't seem like it's going out on top for Truex like he wants, like I want. It's not working the way that I want. I look at this and I go, okay, Denny Hamlin needs to win. Chase Elliott needs to win. A lot of risk going to be taken there. Seabell, odds on.
But two guys who have got to have a little bit of an eyeball on Martinsville, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, but this is also a track that's great for both of them. So they're not just going to put all their eggs in the Martinsville basket. They're going to go for it, right now.
But if you're Bell, you're thinking, this is my race here at Homestead. Those guys are thinking, we have a better chance at Martinsville.
They're thinking we have another chance at Martinsville. I still like the Bell 195, or I like it's enticement enough for me to say 340 on Chase Elliott. So I would go top or bottom here, top or tail, plus 195, plus 340. I'd take either one of those.
Well, if you're that divided, though, you would want to take the 340 because it's a bigger return.
It's a bigger return.
But I just feel like Bell. First off, I think Bell should be like the second favorite in Group A.
Yes.
If you want my honest opinion.
I think they just wanted to give another group with
So to me,
marquee.
you get Christopher Bell in Group B, jump all over it. I don't care if it's 195. It cashes tickets if you win.
Absolutely.
Right? You still make money.
Still 160 cashes tickets, 105s. Right? We were talking about those earlier.
Exactly. All right, let's move along to Group C, where Ross Chastain, Ty Gibbs, and Brad Keselowski are all plus 255, and Chris Buescher is plus 340.
So to me, I look at this and I go right off the bat, I zero in ASAP on the young man I was talking about earlier in the show who has been super strong most of the year. He's had 5 top 10s in the last 10 mile and a halves, and that's Ty Gibbs. Charlotte was 6th, Kansas was 5th, had a great run at Vegas, got caught up with something. At Vegas 5th before. You look back at Homestead, 7th last year. In this group, how they are running right now, Ty Gibbs is my lock of this week.
And I couldn't disagree with you more.
Okay. I like it.
And maybe I'm saying this because I like the odds.
Okay.
I think, we talk about the Larson, Reddick, Bell loving to run that type of racetrack. Chris Buescher does too.
Pretty good too.
And if Chris Buescher was sitting here in that whole group at plus 255, then maybe I wouldn't be quite as bullish on Chris Buescher.
Can I give you his last 10 races there? Would that help you?
Is that going to make me not want Chris Buescher at plus 340?
24th, 20th, 23rd, 16th, 23rd, 19th, 13th, and 21st.
But how's he done his last few mile and a half races this year?
All right.
See, I think that's...
You filibuster while I go.
Well, I think that's my whole thing. I think Chris Buescher has been solid on mile and a half. Maybe Homestead hasn't been his best track, but I think sometimes you got to look at Chris Buescher and you do a 10-year average.
3 top 10s, 1 top 5. 11th at Kansas, 22nd, 23rd Charlotte, Kansas 2nd in the first one. That was where he was running really strong early in the season. 10th at Vegas.
Won the race there, and Reddick kind of.
21st last year, Homestead.
You can never look at 10 years of stats with Chris Buescher because it's only been the last couple of years that he's really been in a quality ride. And so I like the plus 340 on Buescher.
You go right ahead and bet that one, and just remember that I have 100 points on the season. And
all right. Well, I will say that you did copy a couple of my picks last week. And I do get to pick first. Not that I want
not that I don't write it down before. You got to pick first. Trust me, I had no choice to go behind you.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, okay, we'll move along to Group D, where we have a three-headed favorite here: Joey Logano, Alex Bowman, and Kyle Busch, all at plus 250, and Bubba Wallace at plus 335.
Man,
I like one here. I like one a lot here.
I can make argument. Look, Joey, is he phoning it in, or is he going to show up? Who knows? Alex Bowman. Love me, Alex Bowman. Kyle Busch. If Kyle Busch, I just at the top of the show, I said this could be Kyle's last chance to keep the streak. And not last, he still got Martinsville and Phoenix, but this is one of his best. And then Bubba, Bubba has, I don't want to say he's disappeared.
Well, Bubba just became a dad. So I think maybe Bubba's been a little distracted the last few weeks, and I'll give him that.
12th at Vegas. And Bubba has just been running solid, right? Solid. Let's just go solid. He hasn't been running great, just solid. So to me, I'm Bowman because I think Joey's probably going to take it easy. I think Kyle.
And let's be honest, Joey didn't just blow everybody's doors off at Vegas last week.
No.
I'm happy for him. He did a great job, and it's why it's a team sport because it was a team win.
Yep.
But Bowman was pretty strong.
Very strong.
Good car. I like Bowman a lot.
Bubba finished 6th here last year, but I am heavy on Bowman on this one.
All right, let's take a look at Group E. And Group E, Noah Gragson and Chase Briscoe are plus 265. AJ Allmendinger, Austin Dillon are plus 270. And there's a reason that these four guys are packed so closely together.
Yeah, I mean, I gave you the Chase Briscoe stats earlier, not great. Dillon has the best averages here. If you go through averages, Dinger, though, raced this race last year, finished 5th. Read into that what you may. Colleague is definitely not as strong as they were last year. This right here, this is my X group.
Well, I'm kind of with you on this. I mean, it's my X group. I mean, I feel like over the course of the year, Briscoe has probably been the best out of this group.
But
I don't really expect that much out of a guy who does not run all the races. So that kind of eliminates Allmendinger for me. Now, if it was on a road course, that's different. Road course is different. And racing at Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta, a little bit different. But in a place like this, I just don't think you're going to do that.
And with how well the team has, how well or not well the team has been running.
Right.
It's hard.
Dillon has struggled all year. Noah has had flashes of a little above average on average.
There's a reason why you said they're 265 to 270. It's very hard for us to differentiate between them all. And if you want to take one, I'll tell you maybe Dillon, but Dinger, I don't know.
All right, we'll get to Group F. We'll get to the manufacturer props, tell you how we did last week, and give you our picks this week at Homestead when we come back.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world. Our gaming amenities include over 60 table games and over 2,600 of the most popular slot and video poker machines. We have penny slots, including the popular Buffalo games, and real machines like Wheel of Fortune, 777s, and Megabucks. If you prefer video poker, try Deuces Wild, Double Double Bonus, or a variety of multi-denomination games. Or Try your hand at one of the most popular casino table games in the world, Blackjack. Don't let the game intimidate you. Blackjack, also known as 21, is both easy and fun. And our dealers are always happy to assist. And the best part? Blackjack always pays 3 to 2. Next, check out the roulette tables. Roulette is one of the easiest casino games to learn, and so much fun to play. It's a favorite of both beginners and seasoned players. In addition to blackjack and roulette, our casino pit features over 60 popular table games like Baccarat, Pai Gow Poker, 3-Card Poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Mississippi Stud. So get out of your room and come join in the fun.
I think we're supposed to be on the air. We got no cue.
Oh, we did. We got box.
Is that what that is?
And when it ended, that was
it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're back. Jeff Motley, Brennan Gaughan, South
We had
Point
Vampire
Studio.
back there.
You know.
Evangel blood. It's Halloween season, so, you know.
Yeah. Oh, you realize our show next week, we'll be taping this on Halloween. I can't wait to see what kind of ghouls and goblins we have behind the glass next week. It'll be frightening. Maybe you and I should.
We got a few normally.
Should we? We have ghouls and goblins behind us. If you guys could watch us on YouTube and see the folks in the sportsbook behind us, you never know what you're going to
see
back there. There's some flesh that could be pressed up against the screen if you're not careful. Okay, let's get to our final group, which is Group F, where Daniel Suarez and Carson Hocevar are both plus 260. Justin Haley, Zane Smith at plus 275. There's two guys I kind of like here.
I'm going to throw out I'm going to screw all the stats. Who's the guy that's cashed the most tickets for us this year?
Carson Hocevar.
And what group is he in?
Group F.
Done.
I'm actually with you.
Suarez
had a great run last week, but again,
he did.
Strategy.
He had a great strategy run. But right now, you're the kid that has just been.
He's going to win Rookie of the Year unless Josh Berry pulls an upset in one of these last 3 races.
Overachieved all season. Done what we said we never expected out of him at the start of the season, and he's won Group D's this season. He has won. You put him all the way back down in Group F against Zane Smith, Justin Haley, and now Suarez. That's a tough one to put in Group F for a change. I mean, let's be honest. He's a bigger name for Group F, but he's cashed too many tickets this year. I'm just going to.
And I think Zane Smith has overachieved.
I think he has when he should.
Ever since he found out he was losing his ride,
he's overachieved.
He's done a solid job there too. All right, let's take a look at our manufacturer prop this week. And if you really believe in Ford, now's the time to win some money. So Chevrolet is a plus 105, Toyota's plus 150.
Blaney's strong.
And then Ford's Chris Buescher, Blaney, Keselowski, and Logano, all at plus 400. It's a big number on Ford. I love the 150 on Toyota. I don't know if I want to take it, but I like it.
I like the 105 on Chevrolet. If I like the 105 on Christopher Bell, I still like the 105 on Chevy. But here's the deal.
You only got to be one driver for that 105.
There's the difference. But Ford plus 400. Ryan Blaney is bad to the bone here. I mean, this is Ryan Blaney ain't no slouch at this place. So
no, and don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion. And this is a reigning champion who doesn't want to go quietly into that good night.
Second at the third first, led the most laps in this race last year. Oh no, sorry, actually Kyle Larson did till he wrecked. Second most laps.
Let's not let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Senator Reed. Ryan Blaney finished second.
Ooh, we have a political
third and one.
We're talking politics.
It's his famous quote.
Okay.
Third and first in the stages. Blaney second place. That Blaney, that Ford
plus
could be
400 is kind of interesting. Look, it was plus 320 last week, and the Fords came home with Logano winning. So when you put that big of a number and you've got that entire pool of drivers, I mean, it's certainly enticing. All right, let's take a look real quick at our championship odds now. It's no big surprise that the four guys who are at the top right now have the best odds, with Larson at 200, Bell at 250, Logano plus 300, and Byron plus 500. But what I want to do is look at the second page. Denny Hamlin is now 15 to 1. Your reigning champion, Ryan Blaney's 18 to 1. Reddick is 20 to 1, and Chase Elliott is 35 to 1. And two of the guys on this list, including a guy at 35 to 1, are so good at Martinsville.
And here. They're great at the next two races.
Correct.
So you've got me two guys that are great here and great the next race.
That's what you have to forget. You have to forget the points for a minute. It's a win.
It's a win and you're in. 35-1 for Chase Elliott with this race and the next one coming up, and Denny Hamlin 15-1.
It's too bad
and Tyler Reddick.
It's too bad we can't take that in our picks this week because it wouldn't count for next week.
Oh, dude, I'm just telling you, that is a phenomenal. Like right now, jump on. Here's the deal: take one unit and put it on all four of those guys, because if any of them make it, they're going to be immediately down to 3-1.
Exactly.
And you have them at 15, 18, 20, and 35. And all season long, they have not been that high.
Totally agree with you. In fact, Reddick and Blaney were probably higher.
Yep.
I mean, they were not higher. Their numbers were not this good.
No, this is the highest they've been all season.
Correct. So I'm with you. I think it's a great time to take a risk on something
Let's
like
talk
that.
about last week.
Yes, let's talk about last week.
Let's talk about last week.
Can we get we want the picks up on the screen. I want to bask in these picks.
You can bask all you want.
So there's two great things about last week. One is that for the second week in a row, yours truly over here had a great week. I just want to say a great week.
You have come from the outhouse.
I have risen from the ashes like the phoenix.
At least the fourth floor.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the penthouse,
But I had the head-to-head with Elliott Reddick, along with everyone. I had Logano Group C with a win there. And Alex Bowman, who I was bullish on last week, and I'm bullish on again this week, a plus 3.90. So I got 3 units correct last week for a plus 8.05. Brendan, you have reached the threshold. Now, you got to stay there.
I hit my Mendoza line. I ain't dropping.
But
I ain't dropping.
But you had 2 picks correct. You got the Logano pick and the Bowman pick. So I really appreciate you following my lead last week. The Elliott Blaney head-to-head was a tough loss for you there, since
they both wrecked in the same time, and Chase was first. I'm like,
Blaney decided to stroke it around for enough laps to get that one for you. Stenhouse didn't really have much of a chance there. Hamlin didn't in Group A either. But good week for you. Not as good a week for the pit crew.
They minimized. Minimized only a negative 0.15. There's still 14 units to the 13.95.
Minimize damage.
Listen, if you've been listening to this all season long, Jeff, if you've been following me, you're 100,000 there. If you're all in there, guys, you're double digits, right? I mean, you're still kicking some booty. So if we are the people that we're getting paid to be professionals in this is professional level here. I'm just saying.
I would say I would put us up against any handicapping show in any sport right now. JT the Brick.
At least me, for sure. I mean,
JT,
you guys.
If you guys know JT the Brick, JT, he likes to rag on people who make these odds on these shows and never really show their picks. We show our picks every single week. The good, the bad, and the ugly. So we do it all. We do put it out there. I don't want to sound like one of those.
We had somebody on the show years
numbers.
ago that quit making picks because didn't like that we did the show so early. He couldn't see practices and didn't think he was because he wasn't getting. It was didn't like that, and so we all went. We're picking on Wednesdays. So what? Thursdays. I mean,
that was like a
long time. That was a whole nother show
ages ago. Wow.
3 hosts and guests.
Yeah, and a lot of different stuff. Okay, so we're getting into this week's picks now.
Oh God, really? Pit crew? Really?
So we're going with the pit crew. You notice, by the way, so the pit crew does our rundown that we see up on the screen.
Yes.
They did not put the standings on a screen this week. I'm just saying. But let's go with the pit crew picks. I guess they are going to put those maybe up on the screen. I don't know. They are trying to hit a Hail Mary with a winner. I think they just want to pass me because they're not going to catch you.
You could pick a Hail Mary, pit crew. Who's in charge this week of the pit crew?
Okay, so they have Austin Dillon at 28-1 to win. I'm assuming that's Austin Dillon. Ty's not in the race, is he? Okay, Austin Dillon 28-1 to win. Then
top three.
Top 3. Oh, it's top 3 at 28-1 Excuse me.
Even then, I'm going to go.
It is top 3 because it'd be 100-1 to win. So okay, top 3. My bad. I clearly I can't read off the paper here either. Maybe I was just seeing 28-1. And
Austin Dillon at the South Point would be 20-1 field. Sorry.
Okay. The rest are in the group picks. They're going William Byron in Group A at plus 325. Chase Elliott in Group B plus 340. They love your Ty Gibbs pick there, Group C at plus 255. And they're in on Kyle Busch in Group D at plus 250.
I can't disagree with the 3 or 4 of their picks, but that top one, they just don't like their money.
All right, I am going with 2 head-to-heads, and I apologize right now to Tyler Reddick because, I love Tyler Reddick. He's like one of my favorite guys out there. He's such a nice guy. He's engaging. He's very humble. Tyler Reddick is just what you almost wish every guy was like Tyler Reddick because I really, really like that guy. But Tyler, I'm betting you on the don't line this week. I'm going William Byron plus 130 head-to-head against Tyler Reddick and Christopher Bell plus 105 against Tyler Reddick. So sorry, buddy. I love you, but I can't pick you this week. And then my other 3 picks are all going to be in the groups. I'm sticking on my Christopher Bell in Group B at plus 195. I know he's the favorite. I know it's not a huge number, but I still like it. As our good old buddy Uncle Brent used to say, it's all about cash and tickets.
Cash and tickets.
Group D, I love Alex Bowman here. I loved him last week. He cashed a ticket for me last week. I'm going Alex Bowman. And then in Group F, Hocevar won me a lot of bets this year, and I'm going to go Carson Hocevar in Group F.
I like a lot of those. And I still have a 4th that I'm undecided about. I'm going to start with one top 3, which I don't normally take top 3s. I'm going Chase Elliott with a top 3. He's plus, what was he? I think plus 400 or something like that. Plus 300. Look, I think I could take Chase Elliott to win plus 400. I could take him to win, but I don't need, I think he's going to go for the win and go for broke. But if he happens to be there and he runs out of fuel, or does a fuel mile strategy and he's like Daniel Suarez, finishes 3rd, still pays me plus 400. So I like that one. I'm going to go head to heads, Byron versus Larson, plus 160. I know betting against Kyle Larson is caveat emptor, but I think that Byron just pretty darn strong. I think both Hendrick cars are going to be good. I think we're going to win this by 3rd to 2nd, 5th to 3rd. It'll be one of those wins, but I do like that plus 160. I like Ty Gibbs, Group C. Going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm with you on Carson Hocevar in Group F. Do I take the Seabell or do I go my Bowman?
Either way, you're copying me, and I'm really, really proud of you for that. I wish the radio listeners could see the look on your face right now. It's priceless.
I might need to find something else just to pick, just so I don't have to listen to that. You know what? Let's go for a bigger win. I'll go for the Alex Bowman. The Alex Bowman in Group C or Group D at the plus 250. It's a bigger win than the 105, so I'll go for that.
Well, no one is getting the it's not a jinx or a kiss of death anymore. It's a
sort
lock. Of like it's a lock.
They want us to be a lock.
So we don't have a lock. No one is getting the in lock step with us this week. So anyway, good picks this week. Brendan, we got about 45 seconds left. Homestead, Miami. It's a track you love to race on. It's a track with some heartache for you too.
Yeah, but it's beautiful place, beautiful area, beautiful group of people. The guys that run it down there, not the same people when I was there, but still lovely place. Love going down there. Great weather normally. And it puts on a hell of a show. I mean, you get loose. It's tough to drive. Driver's track. Love it.
And and kudos to the crews and the hauler drivers driving out to Vegas to
Charlotte,
Miami,
down.
up to Virginia, then back to Arizona. A lot of backing and forth in Bama, Montana, all those guys that drive the haulers. The guys that we know, they all got great nicknames.
And congratulations last week, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Thank you. Great job hosting the event.
Appreciate that. All right, we'll come back next week. We'll break down Homestead, and we'll talk about Martinsville. One to go after that.
You remembered.